Hey everybody, today on Northern Revolutions, we're going to talk about singles. So stay tuned. Before I start this video, I just need to say a couple words. Yesterday, the Canadian music industry lost a giant. A guy by the name of Dallas Good, who was one of the founding members of a band called the Sadies. This is the Sadies' most recent record from 2017, which they signed for me when I saw them on that tour. I've mentioned the Sadies before. They're alternative rock, country western, psychedelic, punk. They're everything. They play with anybody. Blues, punk, rock, jazz, you name it. They look like cowboys, but they play anything. They're the most amazing musicians. Dallas is regarded as one of the greatest guitarists this country has ever seen. He died unexpectedly yesterday. I'm shocked about it. I was a big fan. I've met him several times. He was a giant of a man. He was a kind soul. The music industry up here is just reeling from his loss. So I just wanted to just say thanks for the music, Dallas. Rest in peace. And check out the Sadies, everybody. On with the video. Hello, violent community. Welcome to Northern Revolutions. My name's Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. So today, I'm going to talk about singles. In one of my other videos, a question was asked in the comments, whether I have any 45s, whether I have any singles. And I do. I don't really actively collect them. I guess my singles, I probably have a couple hundred maybe. I'll show you some today. But before I do that, if you could do me a favor, if you could hit the like button, if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be wonderful. Don't forget that bell notification icon to let you know when I've uploaded new videos. I really appreciate everyone's support. Channel is growing pretty quickly, and I'd like to keep it growing. So I thank you for your support. So I'm going to start sort of oldest to newest. If any of you saw the deep dive into my Beatles collection, obviously there's part 1 and part 2, which must mean that I'm a pretty big Beatles collector. And I am. I do have a fairly significant amount of Beatles 45s. I'm going to talk about a couple of them today that are, what's called, interesting. So the first Beatles 45s to be issued in North America were actually put out by VJ. Initially, Capitol Records in the US passed on the Beatles. Capitol Records of Canada, where I am, did issue singles about a year before the US did. So consequently, EMI sold the rights to the first album of Beatles material to VJ, and VJ put out some singles. The first one that I've got, and I'll show these chronologically, is I Want to Hold Your Hand, which was backed with I Saw Her Standing There. This is actually the first one that was released by Capitol in America, and I have the picture sleeve for it. This was not the first one issued in Canada, but this is the first US one, and it came out in December of 1963, so a month and a bit before the Ed Sullivan Show appearance. So I sort of have this one for its historical significance. The next one that I've got is one of the VJ 45s. Now the VJ label looks similar to the rainbow capital that you'd see on some of the albums. They actually issued the first Beatles single in America, which was Please Please Me, and it originally came out in February of '63, so 10 months before Capitol released I Want to Hold Your Hand. This is not the first release of Please Please Me on VJ. That one was backed with Ask Me Why. This is a later repress that has From Me to You as the B-side, and this came out in January of '64, so 1 month after this one. Okay, so that's my first Beatles on VJ. The next one I've got also came out in January of 1964, and this is on MGM. This is the Beatles. This is My Bonnie, which they did with Tony Sheridan, and it's backed with the Saints. So this was something they recorded in Germany in their pre-Fame days, but MGM had the rights and put this out to capitalize, obviously, on the incoming Beatlemania. The next one I've got is Twist and Shout, which was backed with There's a Place. Tolly is a subsidiary of VJ, and this came out in March of 1964, so a couple months after the Ed Sullivan Show. Then I've got Do You Want to Know a Secret, which is backed with Thank You Girl, and this came out in March of '64 as well. And this is a neat one. This is Ain't She Sweet, which came out in July of '64 on Atco. Again, this was from the same sessions they did with Tony Sheridan, but this was their own single. This was their first, I guess, the first actual Beatles single, and it's backed with Nobody's Child. Next Beatles 45 I've got. In the UK, they released a series of 45 RPM 7-inch EPs, and this was the first one, Twist and Shout. It's got Twist and Shout, A Taste of Honey, Do You Want to Know a Secret, and There's a Place. So this is a UK, obviously, with the Parlophone label, and it's got the flip back albums, just like the actual albums did. The next one I've got is another EP. So Twist and Shout came out in July of '63, and this is the Long Tall Sally EP. And again, this is a faithful reproduction. This came out originally in June of '64, but this one was, I believe this was a Record Store Day release. It came out in 2014, and it's a mono remaster, and it came out in conjunction with the mono remasters of the albums. The next one I've got is a fairly plain looking EP, but it's on Apple. The reason I picked this one this is Baby It's You, which also has I'll Follow the Sun, Devil in Her Heart, and Boys. And what this was the EP single that came out in conjunction with the Live at the BBC. So the version of Baby It's You is the same as what's on Live at the BBC, but the other three songs are alternate live performances, BBC performances, which are different than the ones that are on the Live at the BBC album. The last Beatles 45 I have more, but the last one I'm going to show is this one here. This is Free as a Bird. This was obviously came out in December of '95 to promote the anthology. This just has Free as a Bird, which was the new song, along with Christmas Time Is Here Again, which came out on the Fan Club record in '64, I believe. The CD version of this single has 4 tracks. The vinyl version only has 2. The last Beatles-related 45 I'm going to show you is this Record Store Day release from 2013. It's Ringo, obviously. And in this box are some reissues. There's a poster, but there's reissues of 3 of his 45s. So it don't come easy. Photograph, and it's all down to Goodnight Vienna. And all of these, they even recreated Ringo's special Apple label. So this one has the star on it. So those are some of my Beatles 7-inch singles. I'll jump ahead a decade or so to the early 70s. This is a record store day release. It's a reissue of Fleetwood Mac Dragonfly backed with the Purple Dancer. This is Fleetwood Mac from the pre-Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks era. This is a nice, how well you can see, but it's a transparent purple vinyl. Jumping ahead to the 80s. Got a few Bryan Adams. This is Run to You, backed with I'm Ready. Hate that song. I had to get this one because it's fantastic. Bryan Adams song, Summer of '69, backed with The Best Was Yet to Come. One of the best collaborations of the 80s, Bryan Adams and Tina Turner, It's Only Love, backed with The Only One. The last Bryan Adams one, In the Heat of the Night. Got a couple U2 singles here. I absolutely love Rattle and Hum, which most U2 fans don't, but I love it. So I have a 7-inch version of Desire, which was backed with Hallelujah, Here She Comes. And this is probably the best single off that record for sure. When Love Comes to Town with B.B. King, and it's backed with Dancing Barefoot. And then from one of the earlier albums, Pride in the Name of Love, backed with Boomerang 11. Jumping ahead to, I don't know when this is, 2015. This was a record store day release. It looks like Wayland Jennings. It is Wayland Jennings. I didn't buy it because it's Wayland Jennings. It's Wayland Jennings with the old 97s, and I love the old 97s. So this is a two disc. It's the old 97s and Wayland Jennings doing Iron Road backed with the other side, and then the other disc is just the old 97s. It's a 1996 demo for Visiting Hours and another 1996 demo, Fire Piles. The nice thing about this is they're on transparent gold vinyl. Just a nice record store day release. This is a neat one. This is an artist called the Copper Tone. Amanda Zelina is her name. I believe she's based in LA, but she's from Newmarket, Ontario. This is Young Blood. It's on transparent red vinyl. She did a campaign called the Claim Yourself campaign back in, I don't know what year it was, 2012, let's say, somewhere around there, where she did a Kickstarter to raise funds to, I think, free herself from a record contract, and this was part of that campaign. So these are limited to 500, and this is number 162 of 500. Great sort of blues rock kind of stuff. Anyone who's listened to my channel before has heard me rave about Matt Mays. This is a single he did called Let There Be Love, and then there's an acoustic version. As much as I love Matt Mays, I'm not a big fan of this, but it's Matt Mays, so I had to buy it. And to the best of my knowledge, it's his only 45. Another record store day release from a band. If you've seen my videos, I rave about them a lot. It's a band called Whitehorse, and this is a record store day release. pressed on white vinyl. This was from their second album. It's a song called Devil's Got a Gun. And it's backed with an unreleased song called Lipstick. Devil's Got a Gun was a single, I believe it was the lead single off their second album, which they performed, just the two of them, played all the instruments, and that's how the album was recorded. This is a live version, so this is the first recording of Whitehorse with a full backing band. It's fantastic. I love this band. This one might be the neatest 45 that I own. This is called the Hi-Fis, and it's called, the singles on here are I Don't Know Why You Love Me and Look What You've Done. So, the Hi-Fis, who are they? They're nobody. The Hi-Fis were a band in New York City in the early 80s, founded by Greg Keeler and Jim Cuddy. Might be familiar names if you're Canadian, or if you listen to me ramble too much. They're the founding members of a band called Blue Rodeo. This band was the predecessor to Blue Rodeo, and this was the only record they put out as the Hi-Fis. Blue Rodeo is a country rock band. These were like a punk rock, sorta. I don't know. But anyway, the original version of this is worth an insane amount of money because there's only a few hundred copies out there, and it's only worth that much for its historical significance as the first and only pre-Blue Rodeo record. What this is this is a modern, authentic reproduction. It's endorsed by Jim and Greg. So it has the original sleeve, and it has the original insert for a concert at the Horseshoe Tavern. It has the original promo card that was in it. The label's an authentic reproduction of the original label, except it's pressed on light blue colored vinyl. So I just love this, being such a Blue Rodeo fan. This is an important historical artifact. And even this reproduction is very limited. There's only a few hundred copies of it, so these are worth a pretty penny too. Okay, so you've seen some of my 7-inch singles. I've got some 10-inch singles, EPs, whatever you want to call them. I thought I'd show them to you because they sort of fit in with our singles discussion. The first one here was a Record Store Day release from 2014, and this is CCR. This is their, what do they call it? The 1969 singles. So this is an EP that has obviously the singles they released in 1969. Proud Mary, Born on the Bayou, Bad Moon Rising, Lodi, Green River, Commotion Down on the Corner, and Fortunate Son. What a fantastic EP. This is pressed on white vinyl. My next 10-inch is Mimeograph by the Old 97s. This is a series of covers that they have done. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 different covers on this. Rocks Off, For the Girl, Driver, 8, and 50 Years. It's a good EP. Of course, there's U2 in here. Ordinary Love. This came out, I believe this was a Record Store Day from 2013. This has Ordinary Love on side A, and then it has Breathe, the Mandela version, on the second side. These are a little harder to find. I don't know that I've seen any other than this copy. So this package, there are 4 EPs in this package, or sorry, 4 singles in this package. To the best of my knowledge, this was a U2 fan club release, so you had to be part of their online fan club to be able to purchase this. But what it is they are, take the slip off, these are the singles from the Joshua Tree. So we have With or Without You, In God's Country, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, my favorite, Where the Streets Have No Name. What's interesting about all of these is the A side on each one of these has the single off the album, and the B side has a live version of that same song from the 2017 Joshua Tree anniversary tour. Very cool. I'm a sucker for live versions, so I really, really like this package. So carrying on, I've got some 12-inch singles as well. Not many, but I'll show you what I've got. So first up is Bryan Adams' Run to You, and it's got I'm Ready and Cuts Like a Knife on the B side. Then I've got Somebody, which is backed with Long Gone and Lonely Nights. I mentioned this in one of my other videos. The only Blue Rodeo 12-inch that I've got, it's for the single Girl in Green. And it's a really bad remix on the second side. Then I've got Oasis Supersonic. Don't get excited. This is not the original from 1994. This is the Record Store Day reissue from 2015. Still expensive, but not as expensive as the original, which is a few $100. So I'm glad I at least have the Record Store Day reissue. You can laugh at me for this one if you want. I don't care. Taylor Swift's Cardigan. I actually think her Evermore and Folklore albums are great. I love them. This is Cardigan, and it has the Cabin in the Candlelight version, and then just the normal single version. And this is the harder to find white vinyl version of this single. Then I've got an early U2 single. This is Two Hearts Beat as One, and then it's got New Year's Day, and then another remix of Two Hearts Beat as One. I have this as a 7-inch, and I have it as a 12-inch. Desire from Rattle and Hum. And it has a longer version of Desire on side A than the 7-inch version on side B, along with Hallelujah, Here She Comes. So it's slightly different than the 7-inch. Then I have U2 Staring at the Sun. 3 different remixes. This is from the Pop Mart album era. And I have the last one I have is a Record Store Day release. It's Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. It has the Gotham Experience remix, and then it has the original mix. Those are my 12-inch singles. Hope you found that look at my singles interesting. Sort of by request in the comments from a couple videos ago. So got a bunch more of old stuff, but I just thought I'd pick some at random that you might be interested in. Thank you for watching my video. If you could, please give me a like. A subscribe is very helpful to grow the channel. I appreciate that. Don't forget the bell notification icon. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.